If you want to achieve the luxe look for less, you need to head to your local HomeGoods because they have the same items as luxury stores for a fraction of the price. So in today's video, we're talking about tons of HomeGoods home dupes of luxury stores. We're talking vases, textiles, artwork, the whole 9 yards. So get settled in because this is going to be a good one. Before we start shopping, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button, but let's head to HomeGoods. The first tip I have for shopping at HomeGoods when you're looking for dupes is to shop every single section, because just look here, we're starting off with vases, and this vase is actually in the garden section. Now, I do not own a garden, I live in a condo, but man, these vases are incredible. They are $34.99 for this one. I believe the next one is like $29, and I'm doing a little happy dance because this is absolutely incredible. They're very well made, super sturdy. Yes, this is only $35, and it's $150 at Pottery Barn. Sure, there's a little bit of variation, but you're getting the look for less, and if you wanted that variation, you could honestly paint it on. These vases are great for accessorizing a dining table, a coffee table, any table. This is a different version. This is $30, and it looks very similar to me. I will always say that in HomeGoods, you can find items that look relatively the same at different price points, so be sure to pick them all up. Look at all of the prices to make sure that you are getting the best bang for your buck. So definitely don't skip out on the garden section because these dupes are insane. This one is $30 versus $379. Can you imagine spending that much for this vase and then finding this in your local HomeGoods? I would just pass out, and it'd also be making a return very, very promptly. Now, this is in the vase section proper. Modern organic is trending big time. It's been trending for the past few years, so we're seeing a lot of like these travertine inspired and light colored vases. I love this one. It's very simple. Honestly, this is something you would have found in like the farmhouse design style a few years ago. It's really interesting how things ebb and flow and kind of work with different design styles, but I do really like this, and I'm finding that they're all very sturdy and super well made. This is $79 at Pottery Barn as opposed to $30 at HomeGoods. So the mouth is a little bit different, but honestly, this makes it easier to have a more robust flower arrangement so that it doesn't end up looking too narrow. Another tip I have for shopping at HomeGoods is to take your time, do a few laps. Sometimes you get too excited and you miss out on gems like this. So this also looks travertine inspired. When I saw this, I immediately thought of Restoration Hardware, and they had a dupe. That one is $570 versus $30. The only difference is the handles, and honestly, I like the one from HomeGoods more because there's a lot more wear and tear on it. It's super heavy. I had to use both my hands really to pick it up, and it took everything in me not to bring this one home. Now let's talk a bit about decorative accents. So first of all, HomeGoods has tons of moss. You always want to get that type of moss, not the Spanish moss. The Spanish moss gets everywhere and makes everyone on the planet sneeze. We don't want to get that, but moss is a great thing to pick up at HomeGoods because it's really affordable. Other stores will sell it for like $20, $30, and I'm like, you literally just got this from outside. That feels excessive. Now this is a little different from what I've seen at other places. This is $25, this set of 3 rings. They normally are a little bit more oval. That's what I expect at like a Pottery Barn or maybe a Kirkland's, but I was happy to see this one. This is more of like an aged color versus like the wooden one at Pottery Barn, but this would work really well for a coastal space or a transitional space. I think the wooden ones will work better for like those spaces, but also a mid-century modern home as well. But I think this could also work in a modern home like mine if that's something you're interested in. It absolutely blows my mind that companies are selling branches like this. I actually noticed when I was looking up the dupes that this used to be more expensive at our house. It was closer to like $70, I believe, but now the price has been marked down at both Pottery Barn and our house to be around $60. So it's $50 at HomeGoods. It's not a significant price difference, but I believe in saving every dollar that we can. And you can save money even more by simply going outside and, bleaching a branch. These were really cool. They were $17, and basically they are slabs that you can use as trays, as decorative accents, whatever. So I found a comparable item, and the comparable item is actually food safe, and I do not believe these are, so that's the only downside. So if you want to use this as like a trivet or as a cutting board, maybe go to Pottery Barn and get that one. When you're deciding on dupes, you always want to make sure that you're weighing like the utility of something versus like the money savings. Sometimes we can benefit more from the utility of the higher end item more than, saving a few bucks. So this is a time where I probably might not actually buy the dupe. Now this glassware has been going crazy on Anthropologie. It's been trending big time on TikTok, on YouTube, on all the social media platforms. They also sell it at Crate and Barrel. I've seen it there, and I love it. I actually have mine from Amazon, and I paid a price that's pretty similar to here at HomeGoods, but I do love that they have the gold detailing on the rim and all of the different variations of these glasses. So glassware is also a great thing to pick up at HomeGoods because it can be very affordable, except for this one. I don't know what was going on. This is $25. Please don't buy this. You don't need to buy any glass for $25 a piece, ever. And again, the savings is minimal. It's $4 versus $7.95, but if you're buying a huge set, that can actually make quite a big difference. Now we are in the candlestick area, and normally I don't feel like anyone really needs to buy candlesticks, but I did love this one. This was $12.99 for this hammered look. I will say the gold is a little bit gaudy. I might grab some rub and buff for about $8 to make this look a little bit more antiqued, but I love the look of this because it reminded me of these ones from Pottery Barn, which are $269 for the set, and obviously even if you divided this by 3, it would still be way more expensive than the HomeGoods one, plus some rub and buff. I love using candlesticks on a coffee table, on a dining table. It's a great way to get a little bit of style without having to do too much, plus you get that added illumination. And I don't have much to say about coffee table books besides they're always cheaper at HomeGoods as opposed to other places. Don't buy them directly from any other store unless you're buying them from Amazon. They're way more affordable here, and if you are not totally interested in the topic, which like no judgment from me, get something that's more neutral. If you're very interested in the topic, it does not matter what the book looks like. It could be bright lime green. I want you to bring it home and I want you to enjoy it. And this piece isn't a dupe for anything, but I've had my eye on this forever. It's $100, which is why I've not bought it yet, but I love this look. It looks like it was kind of like petrified under the sea. This is a very unique piece, and HomeGoods does have very unique pieces that you won't find in another store. So you want to keep that in mind in case you're trying to get a more high-end non-catalog look, because again, we're talking about dupes, so it often ends up with us having things that look like everyone else's. That's just like the name of the game because we're all shopping at the same store. So it is nice sometimes when we find that really unique piece like that candelabra. Same thing goes with this vase. This really screams CB2 to me. H&M Home, Zara Home. Now let's chat about furniture at HomeGoods. I love to pick up ottomans from there. I don't love to pick up lots of furniture because it can be overpriced. So this one is a great option. They're selling this for about $399 at Perigold. If you're buying ottomans like this, this is something that goes under a console table for additional seating. This is something that you're putting in your living room for additional seating. Let's stop buying ottomans just because they look good. Let's actually use them for their desired purpose. Controversial opinion, I know, but I feel very passionately about that. I also really like this ottoman because it is a storage ottoman. I love some place where you can put additional blankets, pillows, shoes, textiles, whatever. I love the construction of this, and honestly, I like this better than the luxury item I'm about to show you as the comparison point because the fabric is really soft and it's not super trendy because it has like kind of like a dusty taupe color that I think looks super luxe as opposed to the boucle that they have over at Perigold. This is something that would just work for every design style, and as you evolve, this will evolve with you, and I love pieces like that are kind of timeless even as your style changes over time. And burl wood is trending big time. They have it at Target. I actually think I like the one from Target better. This is a little bit yellow, but if you can't find it at your local Target, this is a good option. I love a nice curved something like this. This is great as an end table, a nightstand if you have a low profile bed. Be sure to think about the options of a piece of furniture, about using it in a way that it wasn't intended for. Try to be imaginative when you're looking at furniture because it will take your dollar further. Now, I have sat on many a chair in HomeGoods and I often feel like they're very wobbly and not well made, but I was very impressed by this counter stool. It looks just like one that they actually sell at Pottery Barn that I've had my eyes on for years. I love the construction of this. This is a great way to soften up your kitchen by adding some curves. You can treat this with some Scotchgard to make it like a performance fabric. I love this. 10 out of 10 for me. This is $349 at Pottery Barn, and that's just for the dining chair version. And they had both the dining chair version and the counter stool version at my local HomeGoods. And I'm not a huge West Elm fan, as you guys know, but I do think that they make really good furniture when they actually, deliver it. But I saw these chairs and I immediately thought West Elm. I love the construction of them. I love the shape. I think West Elm is one of the only stores that makes a really nice high profile chair, which I do like for traditional and mid-century spaces. So I was really impressed to see this one. This is $300 as opposed to $1,249. Though I do like the legs better on the West Elm one, so maybe you could swap them out on this HomeGoods one to really achieve that look for less. And I do love this ottoman with the wooden feet. I love this atmospheres. It's just an extra attention to detail that really gives a luxury look. So when you're in a place like HomeGoods, of course you'll find lookalikes, but it's about, does it have detail in terms of fabric, in terms of construction, in terms of hardware? That is what's going to scream luxury, as opposed to, oh, this is just a cheap copy of something. And this is shagreen. I just thought this was nice. I personally don't buy shagreen anymore because I cannot maintain it, but I do really like the look of this, and I just wanted to show it to you in case you're shopping at HomeGoods, because this is something you'd find at a Restoration Hardware or Z Gallery 100%. And I did want to show you this ottoman as well, just because it's green, and green is a really popular color in 2024. It's 180 bucks. It's a good size. I will say there is no storage though, so just keep that in mind. This is something I put at the end of a bed. This is not something I would put in a living room, just because it's too open and takes up a lot of space. Now we're getting into the most controversial section of HomeGoods, and that is the artwork section. I will say you can find really affordable artwork on Instagram by DMing small artists, and that's what I like to do. But if you do need to get your artwork at HomeGoods, I love something that is very well embellished, which means it has texture. If something looks like they just printed it on their Epson printer, I'm gonna print it on my own Epson printer at home. I will obviously have to fight with a printer for it to do so, but that's what I'm gonna do instead because it's cheaper. So I will get something that's very, very well embellished if I'm going to get it from HomeGoods. So this is a great option. This is $70 at HomeGoods as opposed to $1,099 at Crate and Barrel. It is a little bit bigger at Crate and Barrel, obviously, for the price difference, but I think you really do get the look for less. I also love this one. This isn't a dupe of anything, but I love how they have like the matting and the way that they've kind of constructed this art piece. It really comes down to how they build out the frame, how they build out the matting. That is what sets apart a high-end piece of artwork from a cheaper piece. I will say I don't love the hammered frame, but I know that that's trending big time, and this is definitely geared toward a more glam audience. And honestly, I do like the dupe a little bit more than the high-end item in this case, though I'm not a huge fan of the gold leaf. And these are so popular. The frame geodes are always really, really big. I love them. 80 bucks at HomeGoods. Relatively speaking, that's really affordable, especially when you get like 3 slabs or 3 gems for the price. They used to sell these at like Restoration Hardware. These used to be sold at every high-end store, so they're not as popular these days, but I love the look. It just gives you so much texture and you don't need a lot of color. When I was looking for this online, I found this for $195 for just one piece at Neiman Marcus. It's a fraction of the size, so this is wonderful. And honestly, this is really easy to make on your own, so if you're finding gems somewhere, maybe on Etsy, you can make this, get a shadow box from Michaels, and you'll be golden. And I did want to talk briefly about the frames. You want floating frames ideally. You want there to be a nice thick mat. If something doesn't have a mat, you want to leave it at the store. And you want to make sure that the gold or the silver isn't too gaudy. You don't want it to be too yellow. If you're looking at something and you're like, does this seem yellow? It's too yellow, so just leave it at the store. And the same thing applies when you're looking at picture frames. You want to make sure it's not too yellow. I really like that this one looks like an easel. Just look for things that are a little bit non-traditional. But I do love the mirror section at HomeGoods. This Tahari mirror is $400, and it looks just like the Amelie mirror from our house. It looks like the Primrose mirror from Anthropologie. These mirrors are trending big time, and this one is massive. It's 80 inches tall, and that's like very, very, very tall. So I was very impressed with this for the price. My only concern is, how do you get this home? I don't know if HomeGoods will deliver items that are this big, but if you've been wanting a mirror like this, you need to run to your local HomeGoods. I mean, $9.99 versus $3.99, and I'm pretty sure the one from HomeGoods is actually wider than the Our House one. Now let's talk lighting. I love all of the lighting at HomeGoods. It was so hard for me to leave these things at the store, but this one, it looks like travertine. It's $30. The reason why it's cheap is that it has like that travertine look, but it is hollow on the inside, so it's not super heavy. But a travertine lamp like this is so expensive, I want to vomit. So if you want this look, get it from HomeGoods. I don't think these are gonna last. It's by the brand Simon Blake if you are looking to pick these up. But the dupe comparison is literally $1,000 from Pottery Barn versus $30 at HomeGoods. And honestly, I like the HomeGoods ones better. I think it would match very well with that vase that I showed you earlier that was a dupe from Restoration Hardware. This is great for a modern organic, a wabi-sabi, a Japandi interior design style. Now, I do love all of the lamps here, the more traditional ones as well. I love that we're seeing more Ralph Lauren in these stores. This is so quaint. I love these Brooks Brothers lamps with the scallop shade. Again, this is just a luxury detail. Does this work for my design style? No, but they're thinking about the details with the clear cord and the scalloped lampshade and all of that. That screams luxury to me as opposed to something cheaper. Same thing with this Ralph Lauren one. I just love the details here. It's a beautifully constructed shade that just is high end. And I will say that the lighting in HomeGoods can get kind of pricey, so just keep that in mind. You might not be getting dupes, you might just be getting a really high quality lamp. So you kind of have to weigh where you want to splurge. I always really like to splurge for my lighting because it's something I value very heavily. Now this is a dupe-ish. This is $50. It looks kind of like this one from CB2 that is all cement, but I do love this look. I don't know that I love the lampshade necessarily. Now we're going to talk textiles. In HomeGoods, it can be very difficult to discern what is a good pillowcase and which isn't. So this one is $60 and it is 100% leather. So that was an amazing find. 100% leather pillows can be so incredibly expensive. At Pottery Mart, it's $129. And remember, a lot of luxury stores don't actually give you the insert with the price. So this is the pillowcase and the insert for that price for a nice lumbar pillow. I love using leather as lumbar pillows because you don't want too much of it. You don't want it to be overwhelming. So that's a great little option there. I also really like all of these throws. They remind me a lot of Barefoot Dreams, which can be upwards of $100. They're really nice and soft, and I actually think that HomeGoods has better patterns than Barefoot Dreams and Sunday Citizen, where they sell this blanket for $195. And again, here's the dupe for the Barefoot Dreams. This is $50 by Honey and Lila Interior Design. And the Barefoot Dreams option is $179. So that is a pretty penny for a blanket. So $50 is a lot more palatable, at least in my opinion. And I just want to talk very briefly about the pillows. I like pillows where they do have the pattern on both sides, but I do like this one as well. You want to make sure that the pattern is a textural pattern so you can feel the variation in like the threading and stuff like that. I don't want the pattern to just be printed on the pillow. That's the difference between a luxury and a cheap pillow, so keep that in mind. And whenever you can find super long lumbar pillows like this, pick them up because lumbar pillows are impossible to find online, at least the inserts. They're super expensive. I love Devi Designs. This is one of my favorite brands from Pottery Barn. And anything with the fringe on the end seems very high end because you're just adding that extra detail. This is my all-time favorite brand from HomeGoods. They create this purple pillow in every color in the rainbow. Again, it's one of those patterns that is a textured pattern. It's not just printed on there. And they do make lumbar and square versions. And when you're decorating anything, you want to have lumbar and square pillows to meet different needs and to really vary the overall look of your space. And last but not least, we're talking about throw blankets. When you're at HomeGoods, just make sure, again, you can feel the pattern and that it doesn't shed. I always do a shed test, rub things up against my body and make sure it's not going to completely cover me in whatever that fabric is, because if it does that, it's going back to the store or it's going in the trash, and we never want to waste our money like that. But there were tons of amazing things in this HomeGoods today. Some of these blankets I really had my eye on, like this one. This looks like something straight out of Soho Home. And don't be afraid to open up those luxury websites and peruse those websites while you're walking around HomeGoods to make sure you're finding things that are similar. And I'm gonna end this video with a controversial note and say I am not anti-bed in a bag because some of them are really good and add a lot of texture to your space. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you're walking away feeling confident that you can craft a beautiful, luxurious home without breaking the bank. What was your favorite dupe I shared in today's video? Oh, it is too hard for me to choose, so I'm excited to hear what you think down in the comments. If you liked today's video, please don't forget to subscribe and let me know down in the comments what video you want to see next. Where do you want me to go shop? What other interior design knowledge do you want me to share with you? Thank you so much for watching today's video, and until next time, have a beautiful day.